Oh, hi, it's your old buddy Zoo, and my old buddy Katie from Lenovo sent me their brand new tablet the other day. This is the Legion Tab Gen 5. It is a very nice piece of hardware. It is also $849.99, which, yeah, Gary, put some big dollar signs on the screen. Although, I just saw it dip down to $699.99 on a sale literally right before I started filming. So we'll discuss that in a little bit. The usual suspects have already done their videos on this thing. My man ETA Prime, apparently he lives next door to Lenovo HQ. He got his months ago. Him and some others have covered the spec sheet. They've had the is it a handheld debate, and they all did a great job. And today, I'm just going to give my quick first impressions. And honestly, I'm going to solicit some GameHub ideas because I've already had some really amazing success with PC games on here, and I want to try more. We're also going to talk about a fair price comparison because this, of course, is a tablet. It's not a handheld, so it's kind of unfair to say this costs 2.5 times the price of an Odin 3, even if it's accurate. So buckle up. We're going to have some fun. Quick spec rundown while you watch me clumsily unbox this. This is an 8.8-inch tablet, 165 Hz refresh rate, 3K resolution LCD that gets as bright as 800 nits. The screen isn't an OLED, but it's genuinely beautiful. You got Dolby Vision in there if that's a thing you care about. Inside the tablet, you've got the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, which, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm wrong all the time, this is the newest mobile chip Qualcomm makes. That's 2 full generations beyond what's in your Odin 3. 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of UFS 4.1 storage, dual USB-C, which is unusual, and it's actually useful. It's got a micro SD, Wi-Fi 7, Android 16, and it weighs 360 grams. It is 7.6 millimeters thin. It is genuinely light. It's genuinely thin. And the screen looks genuinely great. Also, this is essentially a Western version of the Y700 tablet people have been going crazy for years. You've only really been able to get it on the gray market, and you've had to futz with Chinese ROMs and sideloading stuff like the App Store, but not anymore, because now you're able to buy something like this straight from Lenovo with a proper Western operating system. So that's the spec sheets. It's a nice tablet. Everyone agrees on that part. The actual question in this video is what to do with it. The first thing I did naturally was try to make this into a handheld. I don't have Lenovo's official G9 controller. I was kind of hoping it would come in a box. It didn't. It's an extra accessory you buy separately for like $100. But I do have a bunch of generic GameSir expandable controllers. So obviously I clipped this one on, and I did the thing. I made the tablet into a giant Switch. And look, it works. The controller stretches around the tablet. It's on there solidly. The buttons are fine. The layout's fine. You can play your PS2 games. You can play your streaming games, play your Switch games, huh? All the things you've already seen this do in other videos. And yeah, it runs great in my hands too, but I gotta be honest with you, I didn't love it. I don't know what to tell you, Gary. It felt off. The screen is bigger than my brain wants for retro handheld stuff. And the whole assembly is heavy in a way my actual handhelds aren't. It's not particularly well balanced. You know, I'm playing a game on here, and 10 minutes in, I'm like, why am I doing this on a tablet? I got a Mang-Mi Air. I got a Retroid Pocket 5. I got my Odin 3. They were built for this. This tablet is bigger than them, and it costs like 3 times as much. And here's the part where it got interesting, because every time when Because every time I take it off and I put the magnetic thing back on, you just fold this around, and that means I can prop this up at whatever angle I want, really, and watch videos. I can play games with this supported at an angle. It's really hard to film at that angle, so we're just gonna pretend and have it flat down. So I put this on my desk. I grabbed a random Bluetooth controller, this ugly as sin yellow Ambernick one. I paired it, I started playing, and it just clicked. This is what this thing actually wants to be. And hear me out on this. When you stop trying to make this a handheld and you start treating it like the smallest gaming monitor you've ever owned, it becomes a different device, a really good device. The screen is finally the right distance from your face for that 3K resolution. Your wrists don't get tired. You're using whatever controller fits your hands best, not whatever clips around this slab. And the device works on your desk, on a kitchen counter, on your nightstand, on a tray table on a plane, you name it. One USB-C charges it, while the other USB-C can do video out to a TV if you want. So it's also a tiny, dockable, consoleizable device with no extra dock required. My wife borrowed this for a while to watch her shows, and I had to ask for it back. One of my cats has already sat on it. It functions in our house in a way none of my handhelds do, because none of my handhelds are tablets. They're handhelds. And I think this is what Lenovo actually built. People get caught up trying to sell it as a handheld with the G9 controller or with an expandable controller, and that's fine. If that works for you, go for it. But the real product is the tablet you set down and you play games on with whatever controller fits your hands. That's the device. That's the thing that not a lot of people are talking about. And once I figured that out, the part of this device that's been the most exciting just over the last couple days is GameHub. Now, for folks who haven't seen my Odin 3 video, the link's in the corner, but we're going to do a quick catch-up. GameHub is a tool that lets you run PC games on Android, actual Steam games, off your actual Steam library, through translation layers. The tech has been around for a couple years, but it always required a lot of fine-tuning. GameHub and also Game Native simplify it considerably to the edge of being plug and play. And by the way, it's getting noticeably better every few months. This tablet runs the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. That's 2 full generations beyond the latest handhelds. Brand new flagship chip, just released. We have never had this much horsepower for GameHub on an Android handheld. But guess what? We eventually will. They will eventually cram this into a handheld. So the question is, what can the Gen 5 do? All right, Tier 1 stuff. This is the floor. Indie games that should run on any modern Android, but we're confirming it. Stardew Valley. Perfect propped up game. Honestly, this might be the best way I've ever played Stardew Valley. With a Bluetooth controller, tablet at eye level, beverage of choice, soda, maybe a soda. Goodbye productivity. Enter the Gungeon. It runs great. The screen size is actually a real upgrade for being able to read bullet patterns. I'm having fun. The quick verdict for Tier 1, if a game ran on GameHub on the Odin 3, it runs better here. That's just it. Tier 2, let's start off with Hades, and this is a game that made me go, oh! It runs at a steady locked frame rate. It looks gorgeous on that 800 nit screen. The colors absolutely pop. The action feels responsive. This might be the best Hades has ever looked yet on a portable Android device. And then Dredge. This is a spooky fishing game setup. It's atmospheric. It runs perfectly. The screen size lets you actually see what's happening on the water. Highly recommended for living that propped up tablet life. Tier 3, we're going to start off with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD. This runs so well, and after just playing this on my ROG Xbox Ally, I appreciate the screen and I appreciate being able to just prop it up and play it. Super cool. And then Subnautica. This looked pretty good on my Odin 3, and it looks downright amazing here. The bigger screen helps a lot, and performance is also very solid. And then Tier 4, which means let's try some stupid stuff, like a game that just came out, like 007 First Light. I've got Frame Gen enabled through GameHub. I don't know if that helps or not, but we're going to see here. Or heck, Spider-Man Remastered is always a solid x86 benchmark. Let's see how it does on an Android tablet. And while you're pushing this chip to the limit, you're also making the device pretty warm. And there's no fan or anything like you'd see in an Android handheld or an x86 handheld, but they do say it has vapor chamber cooling. And this little case on the back helps too. It creates a channel for air to passively go through, and also creates a little buffer between your hands if you're holding it. The vapor chamber cooling is supposed to passively draw heat away, and it does cool down very quickly after a long gaming session, but I don't know. It's hot while you're loading all these shaders or while you're playing a game, and time will tell if we encounter thermal throttling, and time will tell if we encounter any sort of lasting damage. I will keep testing as long as you keep commenting and giving me more games to test. I've got an SD card to exploit on here, so let's fill it up. Real quick, let's talk about value and price, because MSRP $849.99, $700 on sale. This is a tablet, so we really should be comparing it to tablets, but just for fun, let's do some quick handheld math. If your goal is portable gaming, this is the wrong shape. It's the wrong price. An AYN Odin 3 is around $340. A Retroid Pocket 5 is around $200. Pick either of those, and you're going to save anywhere from $400 to $600, and you get a device that was actually designed to be held in your hands. So the comparison with a handheld, it's not great. But this is a tablet, and so comparing it to tablets is where you kind of get some interesting results. First up is the iPad Mini 7, the closest match for size. It's got the A17 Pro chip. It's $500 new, and you can find it on sale for around $400 at some places. Yes, it's slower than the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and yes, it doesn't have the gaming software built in, but it's also $350 cheaper. $200 if you take into account the sales price. Then you have the OnePlus Pad 3, a 13.2-inch tablet. It has a Snapdragon 8 Elite last gen, not Gen 5, but a retail price, $700 on sale, sometimes around $550. So for $200 to $300 less than the Lenovo, you get a bigger screen Android tablet that runs all the same GameHub stuff. Older chip, different size, but the same kind of experience, marginally less power. And then the next generation of OnePlus pads, the OnePlus Pad 4, launched a few weeks ago, has the same exact Snapdragon chip as this guy, same exact Android version, but with a bigger screen, that 13.2-inch screen. A bigger battery, 8 hi-fi speakers, and it costs around $630 internationally. There's no confirmed US launch, and it might not ever come over here, but who knows? The math is the math. Same chip, $200 less. Part of me wonders if this is the reason why Lenovo already dropped the price on this to $700 reduce. And then real quick, let's figure out who is this for and who is it not for. You should buy this if you specifically want an 8.8-inch premium gaming tablet. Buy this if you live in the US and you want the latest chip without any importing. Buy this if you already play propped up with a Bluetooth controller and you like the whole GameHub thing. Buy this if you already wanted a flagship Android tablet and the gaming stuff is just gravy on top. Don't buy this if you're shopping for a handheld. The shape is wrong. Get an Odin 3. Save the money. Don't buy this if you'd be fine with a 13-inch tablet. Get the OnePlus Pad 3 or 4. Don't buy this if you'd be fine with an iPad mini. Save a lot of money. Maybe buy your wife something nice. And don't buy this as your first Steam on the go device. The Legion Go S or the Xbox Ally are still the answer for that. And most of you watching this video, this is probably not your next purchase, and that's okay. But it is an interesting chip, and it's probably, unless RAM Truck Month gets considerably worse, it's probably the way of the future for the Odin 4 or the Odin 5. So just let's look at GameHub as we go forward. And so far, my first impressions, if I had to sum them up, this tablet is a really good small premium gaming tablet. It's also the most expensive way to get the specific experience that it delivers. Maybe rent one from Best Buy like Stubbs does, prop it up, bring your favorite Bluetooth controller, open up GameHub, and decide for yourself whether the small size and the Lenovo name are worth what, $200 more than the OnePlus equivalent. And that's the actual question, and I can't answer it for you. Only you can answer it for you. Well, Gary, the clock on the wall says it's time for What Did We Learn? And we learned that propping things up is underrated. We learned that the OnePlus Pad 4 has the same chip for $200 less, and it may have forced Lenovo to put this tablet on sale. We learned that GameHub on a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is a ton of fun with a Steam library on Android, And we learned that my wife really likes a good tablet, so the next one I buy is probably not going to be for me. That's true love, right there. If you love this video, remember to like, subscribe, hype, all that jazz. We're amazingly close to 100,000 subscribers, and I need that daggum plaque. And by the way, let me know what other games I should test on GameHub. This thing has some real power, and I want to push it to the limit. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.